Netflix has a rocky relationship with releasing anime and the anime community as a whole. This might sound odd if you're completely in the dark, so in brief, Netflix has a habit of mixing batch releases and weekly releases, depending on the series, and anime fans are used to their weekly releases, and friction begins to develop whenever Netflix announces a new acquisition, with enfranchised anime fans lamenting how their favorite got hit with the Netflix jail baton. Now normally I wouldn't even bother getting my thoughts out, but for past few months I've been struggling to start laugh through a prism or prism rondo from now on. A Netflix anime original, created by which studio no less. Adult cast, historical drama with romance. Sounds right up my alley, but as I'm writing and recording, I still haven't begun to watch it. Why? The why might be because it was a patch release on January 15th. So let's talk about that. Prism Rondo is not a unique case, as it joins my plan to watch list with just released Dandelion and older shows like JoJo Part 6, Stone Ocean, which is somewhat telling, as whenever I was a bit of a lull in watching seasonal anime, I still kept watching JoJo and made sure to watch Part 4 and Part 5 weekly, but I never got around to watching Part 6, and if I'm honest, it's not high on my priority list, and it might be because I've already read the manga, but I do watch both new and old anime adaptations of manga I've read. That doesn't mean I simply don't watch patch releases, as I consider Kimi ni Todoroki Season 3 to be one of my favorite romance anime ever, and that was released in a patch in 2025. So it's not really quality that is the issue, but from what I see are three separate issues: the perceived time commitment, competition within seasonal and classic shows, and the lack of discussion when compared to weekly releases. Let's tackle these separately, and let's use Prism Rondo as a case study. The perceived time commitment. What do I mean by that? Well, simply put, it feels less arduous to start a seasonal anime with one 25-minute time commitment each week, rather than one gargantuan 500-minute trek in Prism Rondo's case. Even if I spend 20 weeks watching 20-episode anime, it feels like I spend less energy to watch it because when it comes to seasonals, they're split in tiny, easy-to-digest pieces. I could just space it out, one episode a day or week, and that is something I do, a lot, with older anime, and that is the cue to talk about the second issue that Prism Rondo faces. When Netflix dropped Prism Rondo to the world as a complete series, it also dropped it straight into my plan to watch list. Now, I don't know about your plan to watch list, but my list is filled with classics, genre-defining masterpieces, anime that I know I will love, anime that I'm just waiting for the right moment to start, and in that environment, Prism Rondo has a little chance to be picked over anime like March Comes In Like a Lion, Princess Tutu, or Nodame Cantabile, just to name a few. Yes, the allure of Prism Rondo being new is a strong pull, but that will only get you so far. Another thing that amplifies this is that, well, Prism Rondo is a seasonal. Let me explain. I have a very low bar for what a seasonal anime I follow weekly. I can pick up almost any anime with uninteresting premise and banal visuals and give it a chance. Maybe even finish it against my better judgment, and hate myself when I have 10 anime airing in a single day. But when it comes to my plan to watch list, I should praise my thoughts in a form of a question. How many of you, honest to God, actually add "this looks serviceable" 6 or 7 out of 10 anime to your plan to watch list and then actually pick that one show over something that you know you will most likely enjoy immensely? Wait, those are totally different and are important for research, yes. Journey for that hidden gem is one worth taking, and that feeling when you do find one is so satisfying, but you'd be a fool if you wouldn't first take a chance with the more promising prospects. So that's what Prism Rondo is competing against, but it has one more serious issue facing it, and that is the fact that the patch release does not generate the same amount of community back and forth as following a show weekly. Patch releases tend to have two highly discussed episodes, the first one and the last one, and all other episodes tend to be lacking in community engagement unless the show goes viral. Weekly schedule will drum up discussions and episodes with a strong cliffhanger can invigorate a show and its community for weeks to come. It doesn't help that the only discussion that Prism Rondo has is made by hacks like myself who only talk about how they missed it. Except these rock stars. Keep on rocking. But there might be value in that. Did you actually know that there is a third season of Kimi ni Todoke before watching this video? One of the pillars of social romance, and if this video is how you find out, then I think that proves my point. Now, it isn't some death sentence to release anime in a batch. According to my anime list, more people have seen Prism Rondo than all of these anime from winter 2026 season, which would normally translate to a bigger presence online. I will also admit that if you don't care about talking or reading about other people's thoughts, then this point will not weigh much in your enjoyment, if at all. But as someone who enjoys watching seasonals and then popping up to discussion threads and see what other people think, it's sad that batch releases don't seem to generate high amount of discussion. I will get to Prism Rondo and Dandelion eventually, and for all of my lamenting about the patch model, I do not hate it. I do not hate if an anime releases in a single patch. This is arguably the way I got into anime. I just downloaded a full series without knowing what the heck is a seasonal and just kept on trucking. It wasn't till way later, in the mythical year of 2004-ish, when I started following Naruto and later Bleach weekly, and there were plenty of discussions of older anime in various forums. Perhaps that is the reason for the vitriol against the patch model. The way we discuss anime has changed, since forums have taken backseat for social media, where the time for discussion is measured in days, in some cases hours, before it vanishes like a morning mist. To some, the weekly discussion when their favorite anime drops is the community that they treasure, and patch model chaves against that mindset. JoJo Fridays became a meme for a reason. Netflix on their part tend to do both patch releases and weekly releases, but sometimes you get perplexing scenarios, like with the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, where Japan got their weekly episodes and Pirates got their weekly episodes, but those paying customers outside of Japan had to wait months for it to release, and once it did, they still released it weekly, when the community had already moved on to fall shows. This is most likely a licensing issue, but unless someone spills the beans, we will most likely never know what happened here. Some community members have said that this killed the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity anime adaptation. I don't personally agree with that, but there is some sentiment. Adding to that thought, we can't truly know if anime would have done better as a weekly release compared to binge watching, as Prism Rondo demonstrates that it was popular enough even when comparing to some heavy hitters. There might be also a big positive to releasing anime in a batch. If your show has some bad episodes in the middle, they become way easier to overlook. I wonder if One Punch Man Season 3 should have released in a batch. Would it have been better received? One Punch Man Season 3 is one example. But what about Lazarus? Would it have been better received if you could just move on and not let the bad moments marinate for a week at a time? Perhaps some of the negative noise would have been deafened by the gripes of the patch model, and it's a shame that we can never truly know. Anyway, if you made this far, thanks for listening to my ramble, and if this video gets 1 like, I will start working on Rent-A-Girlfriend series breakdown after season 5 ends. Okay, bye.